I'm going to give you another example which you may initially think is no more difficult than the previous question on division. But let's take a look and see where it goes. So we're asked to find half of 56, which as we know is 56 divided by 2. So we put 56 at the top of the cherry diagram, and now we want to split that into two numbers which are simpler, that we feel we can divide by 2 much easier than dividing 56 by 2. So my initial thoughts are 50 and 6. And when I look at 50, I think, well, if I divide 50 by 2, that's 25. Now, that may not be that easy for some of your kiddies to work with as they're finding their way with this topic. Maybe as time goes on, they will be able to. But in the first instance, the reason that they might find this more difficult is because 50 is an odd multiple of 10. So it's going to end up dividing by 2 into a number that ends in a 5. So what we can do is make this a bit simpler for them by saying, let's always work with even multiples of 10, which means we're going to have to split this one up into 40 and 10 to give us an even multiple of 10. Now this 6 we can just carry forward. We don't need to do anything to it. Now I'm going to divide each of these by 2 to give us 40 divided by 2 is 20. And they should be able to do this by saying, well, 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then we just add a 0 because there was a 0 on the 40. Then 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now I know that number is ending in a 5, but it's quite a low number, so they should be quite happy to do that. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then as you know, we're going to bring these three numbers back together. 20 plus 5 plus 3 is 28. Now what you might want to do is, to save you splitting this up halfway down, if it feels a bit easier, is you might want to do it at the beginning. So let me rub this out. And initially when I'm examining that 56, I think to myself, split that into 50 and 6. But maybe straight away I know that 50 is going to be a difficult one because it's an odd multiple of 10. So right at the beginning, I could split that into 40, 10 and 6. Okay, I'm only suggesting this because it may be a bit easier to work with. But then sometimes you don't know how things are going to unfold as you start working on them. So you need to be ready for both methods to come out of the calculation as you're working with it. So 40 divided by 2 is 20. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then, as you know, we add these back up together to give us 20 plus 5 is 25, plus 3 is 28, which is the same as the answer we got previously, but done a slightly different way because we had the foresight to realise that we needed simpler numbers right when we started.